Hello, amphibians. If you want to stay on Santa Claus's nice list and get fun toys for Christmas, toys that will bring you joy, then you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. And you're not nice if you outlaw toys and other joys to young girls and young boys. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yes, today I'm here to review Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I mean, we all know how back in the mid-20th century, when the Rankin-Bass animation studios were at its peak, they had a good habit of making wholesome and relatable, timeless, classic December holiday stories for famous old Christmas songs like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, there are plenty of other Rankin-Bass cartoon films and shows that I haven't seen yet, but for now, I think Santa Claus is Coming to Town is the darkest Christmas story that Rankin-Bass has ever produced, to my knowledge. I mean, it came out in 1970, so if you're growing up now and you were a kid of the 70s who saw this 50 years ago back when it was new, like my mommy Linda watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town when she was a kid and she liked it. And I also like it, but Santa Claus is coming and I also like it because Christopher Crinkle was the outlawed Higglytown hero who overcame the odds against the unfair, cruel Higglytown villains of Sombertown. And if you were a kid in the 1970s who watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town when it first premiered in 1970 or throughout the rest of the 1970s decade, then your parents are certainly old enough to remember World War II. I mean, while Romeo Muller, Arthur Rankin Jr., and Jules Bass do not have any personal experience with the World Wars, that of which I know, and no family members to my knowledge who have been in World War II. They were definitely old enough to remember how dark and scary World War II was remember some things from like news coverage of the World War II when they made Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is why if I was watching Santa Claus is Coming to Town back in the 1970s, like my mommy Linda was, I would have more easily noticed how dark it really is on a deeper level, because what makes Santa Claus is Coming to Town really scary for 1970s kids with parents who are old enough to remember World War II, even if they didn't fight in it. The villains of Santa Claus is Coming to Town are actual Nazis. G-rated Nazis who can only do G-rated evil things like destroying toys, but still scary Nazis all the same. The definition of a Nazi is a disapproving, controlling, evil person who punishes people like based on their race or religion usually. I mean, in this case, Santa Claus Coming to Town, it wasn't for that, but for the Meister Burger and his minions are Nazis who Meister Burger and his minions are all Nazis who outlaw toys and also scold Kris Kringle for being a nonconformist who is delivering these contraband toys and dresses in colorful, non-gloomy clothes, unlike the rest of Sombertown citizens. And its evil dictators and fascists like Burgermeister Meisterburger, who make Sombertown a somber place to live.
Don't arrest those children. It was my fault. I gave them the toys.
You? How dare you? You are obviously a nonconformist and a rebel.
Me? Rebel?
Arrest this man immediately.
I don't think Santa Claus is coming to town is trying to give us any sort of anti-communist propaganda, because it's a simple kid story about a good guy who is trying to cheer up the somber kids of Sombertown by undoing the harm that the Nazis who rule that town have done.
Don't you know toys are against the law?
What?
Yep, it's true.
Well, gee, that's kind of a silly law.
If the Burgermeister saw you, we would all be in great danger.
In danger from toys? Why, that's the silliest thing I ever heard.
Well, Santa Claus is coming to town is not a violent story by any means. It definitely has its fair share of scary moments, with the Nazis controlling everyone and upsetting the kids by taking away and burning their toys. And even if you've seen the Warlock, which reminds me that Santa Claus is coming to town is still not without its tender, sweet, lighthearted moments, which it needs to do to balance out the scary moments with the villains and the Nazis who rule Sombertown. Unlike Burgermeister Meisterburger, who hates toys and wants to outlaw them, who wants to have no more toy makers to the king, the Winter Warlock is a depressed and lonely old soul behind his scary, witchcrafty veneer. The Winter Warlock turned out to be a kind old soul who transforms from evil to good when Kris Kringle gives him a toy train. And he teaches the Winter Warlock to put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. The Winter Warlock was unsure that if he could really change from evil to good, but Kris Kringle showed him the way. It's as easy as taking your first steps, and that's what makes me. And those are good. These are really good moments in Santa Claus is Coming to Town that make us feel happy, to balance out the sad parts with Burgermeister Meisterburger confiscating and burning the toys. The Winter Warlock is a more sympathetic and redeemable villain than Burgermeister Meisterburger, because Kris Kringle was able to win him over with a toy that brings us joy. And whereas Burgermeister Meisterburger was too much of a stickler to have his mind or his heart changed by a toy.
Excuse me, sir, but you're breaking your own laws.
What? What do you think? What? Ooh, I have been bamboozled. Arrest him!
My own town turned against me. Well, my eyes are beginning to open for the very first time to what life is really all about. Tossed about the fields and lost among the winds, my world is beginning today.
When Jessica realized that Kris Kringle was right and Burgermeister Meisterburger was wrong, and kids should be allowed to have fun and play with toys, Jessica quit her sad job of teaching in Sombertown and married Kris Kringle, and that's how they became Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. and they escape the evils of Sombertown. So yeah, Kris Kringle, Jessica, the rest of the Kringle family, and the Winter Warlock escaped the evils of Sombertown by moving up all the way to the North Pole. And the Winter Warlock used his magic corn to help the reindeer fly. Well, Kris Kringle, now known as Santa Claus, became good at making toys and delivering them all throughout the planet to people on his nice list. The anti-toy law of Sombertown was revoked. Their fascist rule and reign of terror was over after Burgermeister Meisterburger naturally died out, and new generations of Sombertown families and kids realized how silly, ridiculous, and unfair the law against toys really was. Sorry if I accidentally offended you by talking about Nazis and by touching on the Nazis being the villains of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But that's just how I view it, and that might have also, in a way, sort of the intent of the Rise of Directors. And I have to say, I'm very, very impressed at the daring moves that Santa Claus is Coming to Town took at the time to show us how it is possible to write a sad kid's story where the villains are little Nazis, as long as you have enough good characters and nice, sweet, lighthearted moments to balance out the evils of Burgermeister Meisterburger. Santa Claus is Coming to Town will, in the long term, not be too upsetting for kids and their parents to watch, even though I know how it might hit too close to home for some people who know and talk about worse, more violent things that Nazis do and have done in real life. I definitely don't want you to be stolen, burned, or harmed in other ways, because I would never want to make kids cry by stealing toys that, unless they're dangerous toys and they have to be taken away for their own safety. So yeah, remember that, people. Christmas is not about getting toys, but the joy of sharing and giving to one another, giving your friends and family things that they like, things that will be fun, with which that will be fun for them to play, and rebelling against the tyrannical rule of dictators who want toys to be unlawful. So, thank you for watching my dark tale of an alternate, deeper, edgier interpretation of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I'm thinking of making Brenda's song the main antagonist of my film Next Christmas Day, against the heroes played by Emily Osment, Haley Osment, and Madison Pettis. But the Brenda's song character, of course, she won't be anything like Burgermeister Meisterburger. She's supposed to be a sympathetic and redeemable villain like the Winter Warlock, but without the Warlock's magic, of course. So, I hope you like this video that I made about Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I know I filmed it in April, but so I figured, why wait until December to make a video sharing my deep thoughts on a Rankin-Bass cartoon made for the December holidays.